Welcome to the TV, where you meet some of Nigeria's best celebrities. I am Kosiso.
And I'm Hannah. And today, Mr. Azo Amizi met with one of Nigeria's best comedians, Ayo Makun, popularly known as A1. He's not just a comedian, he's an actor, a director, and a producer. And his movies are sure blockbusters. He's also the host of AY Comedy Show and also his skits. AY Comedy Skit is also the host. Some of his movies are
30 Days in Atlanta, A Trip in Jamaica, and he also is the Yoruba demon in Merry Men.
Also, Yoruba Demon Merry Men Part 2 is coming out soon. We don't know when it's dropping though, but it's definitely coming out soon. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this page.
Don't forget the TV.
It's just right here. Just click the like, just click the subscribe, and just comment. Yes. And don't forget to keep on subscribing and keep on watching Yes NGTV.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes!
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes!
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes!
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
What makes a good comedian? Who is a good comedian?
Oh, well, what can I say? A good comedian is that person who's highly creative, because I usually tell people that comedians are social commentators, and gone are the days where people, will come on stage and be talking about how lions are chasing monkeys and the rest. So these days, people want to relate with things that are happening around. And of course, the best way to do it as a comedian is to be highly comical about it and pass a message at the same time, and that makes you an excellent comedian.
All right. What is your own personal definition of comedy? How would you describe comedy?
Yeah, comedy for me, like I said, something I usually would want to take from the perspective of a social commentator. So, is apart from making people laugh, which is the essence of anything that you want to define as comedy, it must come with some message. And as a social commentator, for me, it goes beyond just making people laugh, passing a message in a funny way, and that's how I define my own kind of comedy.
All right. What is the best way for a comedian to come up with jokes?
Research.
Okay.
Research is the best way to come up with jokes, and apart from doing research, you can also, when you talk about your experiences, is something people want to know. People want to know, how you find yourself in different situations and how you were able to come out of it, as the case may be. But just make comment, make jokes out of all the things that happens around you. And research is the key word, in the sense that gone are the days where you just, like I said, just crack about anything. For example, if Iwa is going to be the anchor of an event that has to do with lawyers, he's going to do a pretty good research about lawmakers. That way he will understand how to infuse his jokes in a way that even the lawmakers would think that is one of them. And even doctor, footballers, anything. So you must research your job and understand it.
All right. What got you interested in comedy?
I have always been a compere from back in the day on campus, and when I came to Lagos, I started working with the king of comedy, Ali Baba, as his personal assistant. And then I realized that I wanted to further my career as an anchor man, like as an MC. And I discovered that in Lagos, it was more like a two-in-one bid, and kind of, it was more like two-in-one package for any client. They'll want that person who also can crack them up, apart from just communicating or speaking English, introducing the items you have on the program. So that gave me inroad into doing stand-up comedy. Also against the background of me coming from Warri, where everything about the city is highly comical. Even an old woman on the street will crack you up just with a one-liner or two. So coming from that background that is engulfed with all sort of witty attributes, so it was easy for me to say yes, it's time to go and hit it big. And working with the King of Comedy gave extra life to all of that.
All right. Can you remember your first time on stage, the first time you performed before an audience, and what the experience was like?
It was at Alibaba's Comedy Club. You know, Alibaba's Comedy Club. Then
what year was this?
We used to have, this was in 2003.
Okay.
Yeah, 2004, 2003. And then we used to go to VGC where he had a comedy club. And as usual, we'll open the stage for him before he comes out to do his beat for the night. And that was the first time. And good enough, it was more like me having the raw talent and also having somebody who could guide the talent. So every time when we go back home, Alibaba will be like, wow, that joke, that punchline was heavy, but then you drag him for this part. Why did you let it drag? You know, these people, they don't have patience. You have to be incisive. You have to hit it really hard. And when you get the punchline, know when the ovation is loudest, know when to leave. And all. So it was doing all that coaching on the side that molded the brand and formed the brand AY.
All right. Yeah. What do you like most about being a comedian?
I like the fact that I make people happy. I like the fact that when people think of the name AY, what greets their visage is excitement. Like, oh, that funny guy is a tonic, is a vibe. It's something that confirms that, okay, you're not in the wrong, I'm not in the wrong profession. Knowing fully well that the appreciation is up there. So it gives me joy.
Okay. Now, what don't you like about being a comedian?
The part I don't like is, when you find yourself in a serious environment, trying to do serious business, and they just think that you're joking, and that's very funny. It's funny in the sense that people look at comedians and see us beyond, the stage. So they believe that your normal life is comedy. You walk into a bank, and then you're trying to, carry out a transaction. You're discussing with the manager or somebody, and then the guy is saying, "You've been here, you've not made us laugh." No, I'm here for serious business. I'm here for us to discuss naira and kobo, not to make. If you want me to make you laugh, you meet me on stage, and then you also go to some environment and be like, "Are you really a comedian? Because since we've been here, you've not even made any attempt to make us laugh." Because they don't see that our own business is on the stage when we find ourselves. They just want your normal life, And so it's kind of is a backside to the profession.
Yeah. All right. Now, who is your favorite Nigerian comedian and why?
Nigerian comedians, it cuts across. At the moment, it's a good number. It's a lineup. They have their.
Yeah, but I want your favorite, the person you like most.
Right now, there's this young man called Dex Tucker.
Okay, Dex Tucker.
Yeah, he is you don't see him coming, and when he meets you, and when you meet him on stage, it gives it 100%, and. At the moment, I would say is the brightest, admirable talent. At the moment, is somebody everybody wants to see, in shows and what have you. But apart from that, we have comedians who have their craft on different in different capacities, from the likes of you know, basket mouths. When you see him, you see a comedian that is ready to take you on 247. When you see Okebakasi, you see the wittiness. You see how witty a comedian can be. When you see an Ali Baba, you see the intelligence in comedy. When you see a Bobby, you see an extension of intelligence and creativity, you know, on stage. And there are quite a number of them put together, and they just do these things, and they get it right, and that's why they're in business.
Okay. Now, what is the greatest thing that comedy has done for you?
Comedy has brought life to me as AY. As a matter of fact, I look around me today and I ask myself, if you were not doing stand-up comedy, what would you have been doing, and what have you fine? I have other craft I'm very good with. You know, I was going to work with a radio station at the time before Ali Baba insisted that I should pack my things and come to Lagos. You know, and that's why anytime his name comes to my head, I just see him as the one that God used to say, okay, bring this boy out. Because I was ready to just go and be collecting my 70K a month and whatever. When he insisted, even when I was reluctant, he made it compulsory, like we're related by blood, that you have to. And all that. And that I give that to initial relationship of being loyal, of being dedicated to the things I needed to do with him when it came to Delso to do a show for me. And when I look around me today, comedy has given me life. Comedy has made my life worthy, so to speak. Comedy has defined the kind of life I have always wanted to give to my family and people around me. So basically, it brings happiness.
All right. What has comedy not done for you?
Comedy hasn't given me room to explore outside the circles of entertainment. I want to see myself in oil and gas. I want to see myself, but then comedy doesn't give you that facelift, because the minute you bring up that conversation with somebody that come on, it's not people like you that they're looking for there. And meanwhile, you know that what you have inside of you, compared to even the people that they think have the best right or umbilical cord tied to such businesses, doesn't even have the capacity or the brains of in line with what you have. So comedy hasn't given me, you know, that external appreciation apart from the circle of entertainment.